And I love that, like being in this very diverse, two very diverse cities and areas in the US, because people really like hold on to their culture. In like South Florida, we have Jamaican neighborhoods, Haitian neighborhoods, Cuban neighborhoods, Colombian, Venezuelan, Brazilian neighborhoods. There's so many different neighborhoods, and you see the dynamics, and it brought that conversation up, I think, for the benefit of all people, because now specifically men are thinking of like, oh, like my mom, my sister, or some other female, my girlfriend, my wife, they've been through this, and it kind of puts it out there.
Welcome to another dose of Empire, where we share stories to elevate and inspire. My name is Mimi, and I'll be your host for today. I am honored to introduce our next guest. She is an entrepreneur, owner of her own law firm, and a lawyer you want on your side. Please help me welcome Kelly. It begs the question of how the media plays more into being a lawyer. I think technology does play a very good part in our daily lives. How has the media, and even technology, by the way, changed the law field for you from where you started and where it is now, especially, unfortunately, giving COVID-19 shift our lives and how we do everyday business? How has the media, even technology, played a part on that for you?
Well, I know there's a lot of attorneys that want to turn towards the media quickly to advance their case. Normally, I'm not for that, because for the most part, most of my clients don't want things public. They don't want things in the open. So I've declined interviews on behalf of my clients. Sometimes I leave comments if they're going to run the story anyways, just to like answer some few basic questions to hopefully tone it down a little bit. But I mean, I think the media can be powerful in certain aspects, because they normalize different things, such as the Me Too movement. I think it normalized having conversations about sexual harassment and sexual assault, and that happens to so many women. It brought that conversation up, I think, for the benefit of all people, because now specifically men are thinking of like, oh, like my mom, my sister, or some other female, my girlfriend, my wife, they've been through this, and it kind of puts it out there, that uncomfortable situation. Similarly for race cases too, it can be powerful.
We are trusting lawyers with our deepest secrets, the secrets we don't tell anyone else. So I can't imagine how it's gonna open maybe things they probably never dealt with before with anyone else. So yeah, you are definitely playing different hats. You are being a doctor, obviously, being the lawyer desperately need, and being mama bear at the same time. So that's definitely different hats. I know you were also a traveler. You travel for a little bit, and being in employment law, I'm sure you deal with different cultures, with different ways of people doing things, and maybe that's where some of the clash are coming from. How has traveling all over the world impacted you as a lawyer today?
I think it's very important for especially my race discrimination cases or national origin discrimination cases, because I see how different cultures connect and how different cultures collide. And I lived in different places across Europe and traveled across Europe. I've been to Morocco, which was very eye-opening for like how
one of my countries to go for sure.
Because it was probably one of the most different countries I've been to, because you go there and it's a predominantly Muslim nation, and the dynamics between the men and the women were a little bit unique. For instance, my Black female friend who's Guyanese. She spoke fluent French, and she's a world traveler. And when she was trying to like tell the taxi driver where we go to our hotel, he refused to listen to her. But then another guy, he spoke, I don't even remember if he even spoke French at all. And somehow like he kept wanting to talk to the guy and none of the other women in the car. And I respect other cultures, and like to me, we're in their country. It didn't really matter to me, but in being in South Florida for the majority of my adult life, and also New York, I mean, these are crazy culture pots brewing down here with so many cultures. And I love that, like being in this very diverse, two very diverse cities and areas in the US, because people really like hold on to their culture. In like South Florida, we have Jamaican neighborhoods, Haitian neighborhoods, Cuban neighborhoods, Colombian, Venezuelan, Brazilian neighborhoods. There's so many different neighborhoods, and you see the dynamics of these people together, and you learn about like what are the differences, even slang. Like if you say this slang to a Colombian versus a Cuban, like it's going to mean very different things. And I've had to do like versions of Urbanics or like slang breakdown in Spanish and other languages in some cases, because I'm trying to understand, someone said this, did they mean it in a racial way, like very insulting, or did they mean it in a different way where it's coming across like bro or something? And I've had cases where I literally break down in the beginning of federal complaints why my client who's Indian isn't getting along with his Pakistani supervisor, and the differences in history between the cultures, and why there's so much animosity between the two in the workplace. So it's always very interesting, and I love learning even more things about different dynamics for each case.
I love that. So what are some of the key ingredients then to a good case, would you say?
Unfortunately, if it's a good case, it means some bad things really happened. And it's better like if none of this ever happens, but for a good case, there generally needs to be some sort of comments or conduct of some sort of nature, a discriminatory nature, a sexist nature, and it's unwelcome to that individual in the workplace. So if we're looking at sexual harassment, especially if it's coming from someone superior, like a boss or their supervisor, in the instance of quid pro quo sexual harassment, you may have a boss explicitly saying, if you do this sexual act, I'll give you a raise, or you don't have to come in tomorrow, but I'll still mark you as here and you get paid. There's a benefit, or even a threat. Like if you don't do this sexual act, I'm going to fire you. And then too often women are compelled to choose, like, am I going to do this, or am I going to get fired? And then I have no job, and I can't, like, I could lose my house, lose my kid, lose my car, everything. And it puts unfortunately too much pressure on people. And whether they do the sexual act or not, it's still illegal. And I always love it when I have the perpetrators saying these things on a cell phone via text.
Evidence.
So if there's screenshots of these things being said on Instagram, WhatsApp, text, whatever, if they leave a voicemail, I don't know if I've received a voicemail. I've had some voicemails. And if you're in places like New York, you can just record without them knowing, because it's a one-party consent state. Florida isn't the same. But I've even come across recordings where maybe people are knowingly being recorded and they still say these horrible things. So a lot of these people are just stupid about the openness of their unlawful conduct. And then if it's not comments, if it's conduct, if someone, I don't know, like slaps someone, if someone's groping a woman, if someone touches their buttocks, if someone engages in even more extreme sexual acts, I've seen those cases too. I've had rape cases, unfortunately, and those would make, especially if I have a little bit of evidence in some sort of form to confirm these acts, that makes the case much more stronger. And also, people need to make the complaints, and hopefully they make them in writing via email, text, or they document it. If you write it on a company server, take a photo of it after. You send it, because you can be locked out of your system and you don't have that proof anymore. I wish I could guarantee that we can get the email later, but you just never know. So document your complaints, talk to an attorney if you don't know what to do, and they can guide you through that difficult process. And also be aware of statute of limitations, which most people don't know, but if you wait too long, you can be blocked from bringing any action, and you don't get to do anything about it, and you don't get money to compensate you for your losses or for paying for medical treatment. So just speak to a lawyer right away. A lot of attorneys like me do free consultations, and it's better to at least know what your rights are than lose them. Like made me more observant of it, and also hearing other stories from my friends. Like I know people that were outright told, like, sorry, you look great, your resume is great, we'd love to have you, but you're Black, we can't hire you, the boss wouldn't like it.